4:55 a.m. Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Calendar numbers are kind of arbitrary in the infinite sense, but in the subjective, whatever frame of reference you're using is your frame of reference. And the frame of reference is 2/2/2022. It has been a bit since I've had a channel update or vlog. The reason is sometimes it's better not to report the good news. Sometimes it is difficult to even want to comment on the fact that you're having a good day because you don't want to jinx it because it's going that good. Today I worked a late shift and today was my 7th day in a row. The next 2 days I have off. Other people have come down ill and I have not gotten sick, so I'm still able to work. They're making it worth my while and I appreciate it. So tomorrow's plan is to pay all the bills. And, excuse me, all the bills. It is possible that I'm going to be able to take the remaining balance of my currently delinquent property tax and just pay it tomorrow. On top of paying all the bills, things had fallen behind. I've just been grinding hard for a month now. And thank you, sir. May I have another? I've had issues, I've had goals, I've had projects, I've had things that have broken that need replaced that I've not been able to afford. And now the opportunity to work is there. Bet your sweet bippy I'm working. That's money in my pocket. That's shit getting fixed. That's my stuff not being broken, things working the way to abundance. This year, I'm going to give another shout out to Terry Joel Jr. because he had a great one. You get there and you say, I am here, my blessings are here. I am here to collect my blessings. And you make that your mantra. It's just one of many, not just from him. But that one really, really hit home. That was the best way to express it. That was neutral. I am here now. My blessings are here. I'm here to collect my blessings. So that's what I've been doing. And like I said, I'm going to take care of all the bills tomorrow. It's going to be great. And soon enough, I'm going to have to find a flat surface, probably the parking lot at work, in a distant spot at a time when there's not going to be a lot of customer business, that I'm going to have to replace a caliper and the brake pads on my truck. This is something I've done many times, and as long as I have every tool that I need available with me, I can do it wherever I'm at. Future goals include a couple of sensors for some things, an O2 sensor for sure. I'm going to have to look at getting that muffler replaced, possibly the cat back as well. It's possible that the O2 sensor is working fine and the converters are burned out. It's an old truck. That may not be cheap. I don't know yet. She's running okay right now. Got pulled over last night on the way home from work. Last night was my night off. I was paid extra in cash to work the night, and I slayed for tips. On the way home, I was cruising out the highway. To my recollection, was not doing the speed that the officer said. He said that I was doing 65. Pretty sure I was doing 60, maybe 61. But the trick where they get you, and I say officer, I mean deputy, and that's a whole other set of questions as to why is a Des Moines County Sheriff's deputy parked and pulling people over. They never did that. I don't like this new sheriff. So, or maybe just this was a new power tripping dude because this is someone that I didn't recognize, that a name did not sound very familiar. I used to read the phone book, and you can tell when there's a lot of names in the book. So, for whatever reason, I got pulled over. The reasons were that I had pulled to the left of the stop sign at the intersection because there's a big old curvy thing that runs straight in, and they've got us running on what is going to be the southbound 2 lanes is currently a 2 lane, and takes a lot more braking and gas usage to stop or come up to an almost stop to be able to turn around at this weird angle on this hill. The way that they did it is very odd. And to get onto the road in the middle of the night, 3 in the morning, only vehicle on the road because this dude was parked before he came out after me. Literally the only vehicle on the road. I cut through. He said that he felt that I braked abruptly and swerved, but the reality is I am a 15-year veteran professional driver. I was never out of control. So what actually happened was I apexed the curve that was available on the pavement. He said I was doing 65. I was definitely not. My comment to him at the end of the interaction, see, what happened was he came up, he kind of bared down on me, but not too super fast, and I just kept doing the speed limit. Pulled me over, come up, I just handed him my license. Didn't actually show him the Mason card. And, he'd asked what I was doing, and I said got off of work and cruising home, worked a 10-hour day. Supposed to be my day off. Everybody got sick but me. Well, not everybody, but enough people that they had to do some shuffling that caused me to be needed. So I went in and did the thing, got pulled over on the way home, let off with a warning. There's really nothing to it because he never told me through the interaction at the beginning, and I'm a black belt at verbal judo. Grandmaster, bro. So this guy went back, came back, seemed a little, handed me my license, and even though we may be the only vehicles on the road this time of night, we must drive as if there were many other vehicles. And it's like, if there were many other vehicles and I had cars bearing down behind me and I was going to turn and there was nobody in that lane, I'd be going through that lane. Because it's the fastest way off. I put a turn signal on long in advance. Except when I'm the only car on the road because I'm watching my mirror. Like I said, 15-year veteran professional driver. I always have the sentinel awareness, even when I'm in a room. There's mirror checks, there's rear view, there's sides, there's gauges. Check the time, watch the road, scan for things. Always. I wish that there was a way to signify that I am an expert driver that does not fuck around unless it is safe to fuck around. But anyways, got pulled over, got let off with a warning, thankfully, very thankfully, because I did not want to have a day where I made all the extra money and then immediately have to spend it on something else, because that's been the previous pattern and what we're trying to move away from. So it was like a troll from the universe, one last little this year is my year. So anyways, today was my 7th day. It was scheduled. It was late. Late driver is the one that's up for close. They have called me in before to close because the person who is in the late driver position is competent at the late driver position but is never willing to close. Everybody wants to make more money. Nobody wants to work more hours. And some of them stick around because it's a gamble and sometimes you luck out and make great. Yesterday, I logged onto the system a half hour early. I took 2 more runs than the other closer who it's somewhat competitive. There's usually someone you're either running with or running against. And took 2 more than that guy. And I don't believe the number that he said that he made. I have not confirmed this or anything with management because it's not appropriate for them to tell me that information. But I don't believe it. And I'm not saying like, oh, that's fucking bullshit. I'm just saying, whatever it was, if anything, a couple bucks more than what I made. And I made a decent amount, but I'm not going to say what I made. But it wasn't what he said. By the numbers, the number of stiffs he complained about at each individual run, unless he was specifically lying, which is an awful long length to go to, an awful waste of time to do. Something that crossed my mind and I was like, yeah, nah. I ground it out. And in the process of doing this the last couple of weeks, of just being like, okay, so no matter what the changes to the circumstance, lose the one guy that was screwing everybody and look, everybody's making more money and now there's somebody else screwing me. Not necessarily everybody, but definitely me. But maybe he's screwing everybody, but what a dick. And every time I like get at him and then I'll go straight to the management, like, yeah, I just broke the rules. I'm letting you know that I was doing it to get at him. Would you please curate the run so that everything is fair? I keep taking it back to that. Please curate the runs, management, so that everything is fair. And I'm finding a system to it. I've spoken with the general manager of the store. She's finding a system in it. And I've made an observation about a particular, there's an app and there's a complete order thing and a certain order of operations of doing that to let the pizza makers know to throw another order in. And have apparently sidestepped what either may or may not be, I don't know if it's just the circumstances of the luck, if it's the people putting it in, it's kind of the same every day regardless of who it is, and I do not honestly believe that there's any concerted effort on the part of any people. That there's a way to glitch this thing, not to make more money, but every time that I've been using it correctly, I've been getting shit runs. And I have the worst gas mileage vehicle on the fleet. So I told the boss lady, I said, I've noticed this pattern. She says, actually, I've kind of noticed that too. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it when I feel like it, and I'm not going to other times, and I'm going to be judicious about it, but if I feel some funky business, I'm going to use that to hop. So learning the new system, things are going to change further because apparently there's another setup that we're supposed to add in that has something to do with where the runs are set out in bags on a table, ready to go, so pick up and go. Which I honestly don't mind. I love it when they got my thing ready to go. As long as they're not just be like, oh, sorry, going to the ghetto again, bro. You never get tipped by most poor people. And the thing is, there's a difference between people who are poor and people who are broke. I've spoken on this. So Monday was interesting. I went in a half hour early. I went hard. I actually, at one point in the night, got a low coolant alert in my dashboard. And I shut the vehicle down and got the light out and opened it up and looked around and checked in the actual fluid level, opened the cap and everything. And like a smidge low, but certainly not enough for the sensor to go off. So maybe there's a coolant sensor. But sealed everything backed up, continued to watch it, was a little bit nervous. Nothing ever happened, thankfully. And then it never happened again. After I turned it back on, it never came back. I had 2 deliveries to a particular apartment complex that is notorious for being bad tips all around, with a few notable exceptions. And the 2 that I delivered to, the one I had been to before and the other one I had not, both of them had an automatic tip on the app. One of them was only $1, and I didn't even care. They auto-tipped at all. Cool. That's better than a 0. $1 is better than no dollar, right? In that respect. And it's kind of close, so it's a quick little psh, psh. In short, I somehow managed to, rather than facing Shadowlink, was Shadowlink, in a sense. But in the other sense, rather than strike, I simply evaded and then counterstruck, which is Shadowlink, I guess. But so the thing is, I had been trying to figure out how to get past someone who seemed to anticipate and mirror every move. And it occurs on a plane or a level of reality that barely resembles the world that I'm interacting with. But so the funny thing is that I had mentioned to the manager a particular thing that I had noticed. I named it something, and I will speak on this in another video. I have not figured out how to word it yet. But I said it, and she goes, yeah, I can see that. I think that could be right. And it wasn't, I don't know, it was an honest response. So feeling like I have someone who's not just, yeah, Rob's a little weird, he's into, I don't even know what he's talking about, I can't figure out. So here's someone who at least is going to have an inkling of what it is that I'm up against every day. So I raise this beer to the devil's favorite children. The people who step on you, step over you, who do whatever, consistently especially, but I mean, whatever. The people who do that, and no matter what you do, they're always just that little half step ahead, or they do way better on the night when you thought you were doing great and you come out like, wait, what? And they're like, booyah, making it rain. Those are the blessings of Satan. Here's to Satan's favorite children.